Today, we embark on an exploration of one of the most enduring conspiracy theories, the moon landing hoax. Join us as we delve into the evidence, sift through the myths, and unravel the conspiracy theories surrounding this historic event. 1. Photographic anomalies. Some conspiracy theories claim inconsistencies in the lighting and shadows of moon photos and videos. These allegations have been thoroughly debunked by experts in photography and physics. The unique conditions on the lunar surface, such as the lack of atmosphere and the reflective nature of lunar soil, contribute to unconventional lighting effects. Additionally, the scientific community, including NASA, has provided extensive evidence supporting the authenticity of the Apollo moon landings, including rock samples, telemetry data, and independent verification from other countries' space agencies. The overwhelming consensus among experts dismisses the notion of a staged moon landing, reinforcing the credibility of this historic achievement. 2. Flag waving. The perception of the American flag appearing to wave on the moon is often a result of its design and the way it was deployed. During the Apollo missions, the flags had horizontal rods to hold them out, causing them to unfurl and create the illusion of movement. In the vacuum of space, there is no air to sustain a breeze, and any apparent waving is due to the initial movement imparted by the astronauts. Scientists and engineers have explained this phenomenon, emphasizing that it does not contradict the absence of atmosphere on the moon. The flag's movement can be understood within the context of the unique conditions of the lunar environment and the methods used to plant it. 3. Lack of stars. The absence of stars in lunar photographs is easily explained by the limitations of capturing celestial bodies in the bright lunar landscape. The exposure settings on the cameras used during the Apollo missions were optimized for the sunlit lunar surface, making it challenging to capture the relatively dim light of distant stars. Additionally, the astronauts and equipment on the moon's surface created shadows and reflected light that further affected the camera exposure. This phenomenon is consistent with basic principles of photography and does not provide credible evidence for a staged moon landing. Astronomers and photographers understand the complexities of capturing celestial objects in diverse lighting conditions, reinforcing the authenticity of the Apollo moon missions. 4. No impact crater. The absence of a significant impact crater from the lunar module's descent can be explained by the moon's unique characteristics. Unlike Earth, the moon has no atmosphere to slow down spacecraft during descent. As a result, the lunar module used a controlled descent and thruster system, rather than relying on atmospheric drag. The moon's surface is covered in a layer of fine regolith, which absorbed the force of the descent, preventing the formation of a large crater. The physics of the descent were meticulously calculated to ensure a safe landing, and the lack of a substantial impact crater aligns with the expected behavior in the moon's airless environment. This understanding is supported by scientific analysis and engineering expertise. 5. Space race motivation. The claim that the United States faked the moon landing for Cold War victory overlooks the geopolitical context of the era. The intense rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union during the space race served as a driving force for advancements in space exploration. Faking such a monumental achievement would have been an enormous risk, considering the scrutiny from both domestic and international audiences. The USSR closely monitored the Apollo missions, and any evidence of deception would have been exploited. The moon landing's success contributed to the United States' global standing, but the extensive scientific and technological accomplishments associated with the mission strongly support their authenticity. The idea of a moon landing hoax is inconsistent with the collaborative efforts of thousands of scientists, engineers, and astronauts involved in the Apollo program. 6. Radiation concerns. The Van Allen radiation belts do present challenges for space travel, but careful mission planning addressed these concerns. The Apollo spacecraft took a specific trajectory, minimizing the time astronauts spent in the most intense areas of radiation. Additionally, the spacecraft's construction included shielding to protect against radiation exposure. Scientific understanding of the Van Allen belts was considered in the mission planning process, ensuring the astronauts' safety. Subsequent space missions, robotic and crewed, have passed through the Van Allen belts without adverse effects, further validating the feasibility of navigating these radiation zones. The claim that the Van Allen belts make a moon landing impossible oversimplifies the complex engineering and scientific considerations that went into the Apollo program. 7. Inconsistent shadows. The perceived inconsistency in shadow angles on the moon is a result of the unique lunar landscape and the absence of atmosphere. On Earth, atmospheric scattering can diffuse sunlight, creating soft shadows. However, the moon's lack of atmosphere leads to harsh, stark shadows with well-defined edges. The uneven terrain and varying reflectivity of lunar soil also contribute to the apparent differences in shadow angles. These factors, combined with the irregular shapes of lunar rocks and the astronauts themselves, create the illusion of inconsistent shadows. The scientific community recognizes these lunar-specific conditions and refutes the notion that multiple light sources were employed in a staged setting. 8. Film studio allegations. The claim that the moon landing was filmed on Earth disregards an overwhelming body of evidence supporting its authenticity. The intricate details of the lunar surface, the behavior of dust in the low-gravity environment, and the physical dynamics observed in the footage align with the conditions unique to the moon. The immense scale and complexity of such a conspiracy, involving thousands of individuals, scientists, and engineers, make it implausible. Furthermore, independent verification from other countries' tracking stations and the continuous monitoring of the missions by international observers dismiss the idea of a studio-produced moon landing as unfounded and contrary to the extensive scientific achievements of the Apollo program. 9. Unreliable technology. While 1960s technology may seem rudimentary by today's standards, the Apollo program successfully leveraged cutting-edge engineering and innovation. NASA's development of the Saturn V rocket, the Apollo spacecraft, and the lunar module represented unprecedented achievements in aerospace engineering. The rigorous testing and simulation processes ensured the safety of the astronauts throughout the mission. The successful execution of the Apollo missions stands as a testament to the remarkable capabilities of the technology available at that time, demonstrating that it was indeed advanced enough to accomplish the ambitious goal of lunar exploration. The collective expertise and ingenuity of the scientists and engineers involved in the Apollo program played a pivotal role in overcoming the challenges posed by space travel in the 1960s. 10. Missing data tapes. The idea that NASA intentionally destroyed or lost the original moon landing tapes is not supported by credible evidence. While it is true that some original tapes were erased and reused due to budget constraints, extensive efforts have been made to restore and enhance the available recordings. Multiple copies of the footage exist, and technological advancements have allowed for the recovery of high-quality images. The notion of intentional destruction for the purpose of concealing a hoax overlooks the comprehensive documentation and redundancy measures in place during the Apollo program, making it unlikely that any alleged conspiracy to hide evidence could have been successfully carried out. Thank you for joining us on this eye-opening journey through the moon landing conspiracy theories. If you enjoyed unraveling the mysteries with us, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more intriguing content, and share your thoughts in the comments below.